All right, good folks. Welcome to our international podcast. Below the belt, move back to those. How are you folks doing out there today, guys? Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. I have with me two folks in studio today. One is wrapping up, doing some work, and I have Truth in the other side.
Hello.
I have Truth in the other
Hello,
side.
hello, hello.
How are you
What's
folks
going on?
doing?
I am here, Jared.
Oh, you're here.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm here too. Raining in Georgia, on cats and dogs, dogs and cats. Raining terribly in Georgia. It's a rainy morning.
I like
The
it.
afternoon
Feels nice and cool.
feels nice and cool. Now for the folks who gotta be at the outside.
I'm not gonna be there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's nice and cool
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
You were busy watching the Commission of Inquiry.
I could not
So I'm
miss
going
it.
on. You're busy there.
So yesterday I didn't watch much of it yesterday. So like you guys know, so today I'm just catching up. And I think I would have preferred to do today because not other than say the right thing today.
Sis, that name sounds familiar. Sis, like Sig.
Yeah, that's a Gcom guy.
She come?
Mhm.
I can know it comes from places. Sis,
It's like
like Sig.
fourth tier kind of PPP. I don't know.
Church, cheers. You have pure blood.
No,
Oh.
he's been around the block.
Oh, this is the same fellow who's chairman of Guy Super.
Yes,
Oh, CEO rather.
CEO,
Same
CEO.
person.
Yes, in person.
Oh, wow. He took the stance as well.
But he did play an integral role in the entire election process, 2020 election process. I know him and I, because I wasn't involved in the election day process and the count so there at that point, but I was involved throughout the recount. So I know that he was involved in the recount also. So apparently he has done his part.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
But his
CEO of
testimony,
Guy Super.
his
Understand?
testimony, I mean, his memory seems to be failing him a little because constantly have to keep asking to look at his notes, look at the written statement that he provided, to read back the paragraphs and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like he's not really keen on his memory today. Probably when he wrote the statement, he was keen then. But today he doesn't seem to be keen. So he keeps looking back at it. But he's making some statements. One of the things that I'm noting is like his description of what happened is particularly the involvement of Pete Lowenfield, the then CEO of GCOM. He is if Pete Lowenfield
Mm-hmm.
and then when there was a little bit of confusion and chaos at the initial stages, when Keith Lowenfield was being asked to change the way in which something was being done, he said, "You know what? I'm going to be basically taking this to the commission because the commission is the overarching powers. He's going to be taking it to the commission, and then thereafter he came back and said, "Well, the commission said this." This wasn't he made a decision on his part, and there was a commission in play and all of that. So I think that if Lowenfield needed somebody to testify on his behalf, okay, Say's doing a good job. Say's doing a good job. Yeah, at one point in time, Sharon, because they made such a big ruckus about GCOM staff saying that they're tired and not feeling well and stuff like that. And believe it or not, in his testimony today, he said even Claudette, saying the chairman of GCOM, actually went down and told the party agents, and asked them to empathize with a particular staff because she had a medical condition. This is not Keith Lowenfield or Roxanne Myers. This is Claudette herself asking them to empathize with the woman because she has.
Yeah.
I tell you, Seth is testifying on behalf of GCOM. I don't know what's going on, guys, but mm-mm-mm. Listen to it. You guys need to go back and listen to that if you missed it. Seth's saying the most. I think they're on lunch break right now, and I think Seth's probably in a meeting or something. I'm just saying. Oh, but guess what, Sarah? Just at the ending of that, before they went on a break, Seth actually said Satan Singh, that is, that he was talking to the U.S. ambassador, Syrian Lynch, and during lunchtime, and so having conversations because they were all there and all of that. Nevertheless, he got to the point to say that when there was a bomb scare there, that the U.S. ambassador to Guyana said she is not leaving when they were asked to evacuate the building. The U.S. ambassador to Guyana
Wow.
said she's not
She picking in
leaving.
the pause that she come.
But I don't know if Sarah's gonna be responding to that testimony, but I think she should. She
Mhm,
needs to
mhm.
come forward and say what went on there.
Not going. You see,
Mhm.
not going. Wow.
It is
Wow.
man, look.
Wow. Well, we got quite a few things to share with you folks. It's Thursday. It's State of the Region. Almost the State of the Union. State of the Region. We have MP Vince Roy Jordan is going to be joining us shortly, folks, to walk us through what happened. The other afternoon, we're seeing some malicious headlines out there about blocking development and all kinds of stuff. We know it's not so.
Mm-mm. Blocking development. The PPP film. It was Photoshop shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It was our Photoshop.
Wow.
The headline said it.
Wow. 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 You don't do something like so.
Mm-mm.
Do something like so.
You remember somebody said at one point in time, chase them out. You remember those words? Chase them out. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody out there remember that?
Etched
Chase
in our
them out.
memories.
Chase them out.
Etched in our memories. Etched in our memories. Yeah. So we're going to be talking with Member of Parliament Vince Roy Jordan on that matter. And who knows what else. Folks, share the live, smash that emoji button for us. We're ready to go. We're fired up. Good to see you. For who's joining us today, I see Edward Rome, always here, Glycis Mingoburn, Irvin Dawn. Good to have you. Fair and Clark, good to have you. Bantu King, great to have you. Great to have you. Great to have you. Guys, the Marvel film Black Panther's out. Have you gone to see it yet, Julia?
I will be going, even if I'm going alone.
Yep. You know, we might need the Black Panther with this situation here. This situation here at the Marriott. This situation here in the Marriott. Do you really recall this situation?
No, I do not want to.
As Ghana Daily News put it out there.
I'm gonna be reading it as it has been reported. Like, I don't know. Guys, just give us a second with this. Give us a second. Let me soak it in. Should I be reading what is in the Daily News thread?
Yes, go right ahead. Give us a sense. You know, I heard a news entity going over this story, and they were going at pains not to say where they got it from. You know, a news site we got it from. Oh, that news site said. I mean, like, what would it take for you to say, I got it from credible sources? I got it from Ghana Daily News. I don't understand that.
I always say where I get news from. But listen, this particular one, I'm going to say differently.
Go right ahead, Judah. Let's see what happened at Marriott. Take one. Or take one.
Okay. So I'm going to be reading a report that comes out from the Guyana Daily News online reporting site there. I just want to alert the viewers here that, you know, we always bring you credible information. So I want to alert you that
credible as Guyana Daily News.
No, I want to alert you that Below the Belt has not been able to independently verify the information that we're about to bring to you, but we're going to be reading directly as it has been reported here in Guyana Daily News.
Independently verified. Kind of confirmed already now. Go ahead.
Heartbreak alert, it says. A young woman is now heartbroken after her date, whom she met only a short while ago, ditched her during a romantic date at the Marriott Hotel. Guyana Daily News was made to understand that the young woman recently met the guy and decided to go on a date at the fancy Marriott Hotel. The guy, being a gentleman at first, ordered the meals. They both ate and chatted for a while. He then placed another order for takeout. The man then told the young woman he was coming back. He went out the door and called a taxi. When the car arrived, he sent the driver inside to pick up his order. Then he escaped. The driver went to pick up the order without any money and was asked about the bill. He couldn't answer. The security then arrested the driver and the girl. The cops were then called in, and the driver was made to pay the $56,000 bill.
Wow.
The young woman noted that she only knew the guy's name and had one picture of him taken during the date. Calls to his phone have gone unanswered. Luckily, he didn't take her to a Macy and order Wagyu steak.
Interesting.
End of report.
Interesting. How the driver got involved? I go to pick him. How you end up paying for food fee? That's the part I don't get. That's the part
He
that
didn't
make
want
it.
to pick her up. He went to collect the takeout.
Yeah, but he didn't order it, so how he ended up having to pay?
But
I
he
don't
went to
catch
pick it up. He went to pick it up. Yeah, it's a good point that you're making there because we're seeing a young man just made good of his escape whilst the man was in there to pick up the meal. You know, it's listen.
Wow.
Young ladies,
Wow.
when you're going out there, you see why I never used to go out a lot. Listen, when I go
Yeah.
out, I only order stuff that I got enough money in my pocket to pay for. I'm not joking, you know. Probably that's why I don't go out a lot, Derek. Because when I'm going down the menu, I mean, I'm going out on a date and know somebody else is paying, but would trust me when I'm going down that menu, I'm checking the prices and I'm like, I can cover these on my own and things go south.
In case the guy run claim that he going. Is where he said he's going to the washroom?
No, he went outside, he got a taxi, and then he basically just never came back. You know, but you gotta be some kind of special, right? Because you ate, you understand when you ate, you had conversation, you invested time into this plot, and then and I'm just assuming this story is true and
Yeah.
correct, right? This is
Yeah.
an assumption, it's an allegation
Yeah.
as it is right now. But assuming the situation is correct. And then on top of that, you're gonna be ordering takeout. Seriously, sir? I think at that point you have to have like red flags just flying all over the air because you just act like, what are you doing with takeout? Like, what are you doing at?
Mhm.
Hmm,
It is how much house?
56,000. $56,000. I would like to know what they had.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what are you eating for $56,000?
I don't
What are you
know.
eating for $56,000?
Oh,
You could
good
sit down and eat
Lord.
out $56,000. But maybe the prices, you know.
It is ridiculous. I mean, assuming again that the story is correct because you don't know. I don't know. I'm probably thinking that he's going to be making a statement of some sort if he has that bit of decency to say what actually went on. Probably, you know, he had some memory loss, temporary insanity, or something, and just went to get some medical attention. But I don't know.
This is something else, boy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's crazy.
When do you think you can't say anything else?
But you know, there was something there that was a bit startling is that you say that she just met him a short while ago and she did not even know his full name. You know, so it's somebody that she wasn't very familiar with. So don't go out with people that you're not familiar with. You know, just guys don't, girls out there, don't do it. Don't let these guys be taking you for a ride and all of that. This is criminal though. This is criminal. This is criminal. If this is true, this is criminal.
Yeah.
Right?
What an embarrassment. My 56,000?
Ah,
They just met, is that?
Chandel Long says
Take time to know
56
him.
GVEX money. Listen, you gotta eat within your budget. Listen, I don't know. But it's not as though they ate all of that because I'm sure that 56 included the takeout also. Like why would you be eating and then ordering takeout too? Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
You know, this fella make it bad for a lot of people because I saw one young lady comment on Facebook. She said, the guy has to now lodge his wallet.
Yes,
You
exactly.
gotta lodge your wallet.
Yes,
And
when
when
you're
you see
done
where you got it
paying.
there, you ain't gonna pass the total. You gotta lodge it.
But
Make it bad for a lot of
you
people
have to
doing
be decent. I think as a young man, women out there with sons, raise your sons right, for God's sake. Like, raise those young men right so that they know to respect women and to have morals, high standard and all of that. Come on, come on. Whose son is this? Like, who raised this young man?
Different, different.
You don't do that to young people. You like to young women. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine how she felt. Having to go through that level of embarrassment. She's probably done with dating for a little while. That's just crazy. And the thing is about it, women have, like, a lot of women have a tendency to trust, like, to have this blind trust in people so quickly. So you trust persons to be decent, you trust persons to have your own standard and your morals and all of those things. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that persons would just go and abuse your trust and your level of kindness and all of those things to do that to you. That's crazy.
Very, very interesting time.
Hmm.
56,000 folks in the website. Maureen Williams, Sierra Bell,
Yeah.
Kurt Heidekan, 56,000.
That is so true. Man call a taxi and then send a driver to collect the vehicle.
Mystic
Got a young
disappear.
woman in there. But
Disappear.
there must be some level, some policy guidelines that those at the restaurants and such deal with certain things like that, particularly if persons are going to order high-end meals and stuff like that. I'm so sorry, like, I don't know what to say.
We can be overrun by policy just now.
Oh, good lord. It's terrible. It's terrible. As young women, you're going out there, but you just depend on women and the society altogether to have decent men out there. That's what people want, to have decent people out there. Listen, if I get a son, look, your daughter's gonna be fighting for him because he's gonna be well brought up. He's gonna be that principled person with high moral values and so forth. Teach him from young, like Cher's sons. Cher got some stunt. Listen, y'all don't want when you see them boys reach on the market. Mm. You got the girls them line up manly, decent. You just think about it. It's just great, great individuals.
They try. Folks, we're talking today with MP Troy Jordan,
Hmm.
and we're talking about these allegations that he's blocking development in Region 5. He's a blocker of development. That's the allegation. We're going to be talking with him shortly, folks. We are going to be talking with Prince Roy Jordan shortly. The returns.
Yeah, we will be. And I wanted to say that I am getting the reports coming in, and I see a lot of photos being pushed forward about as it concerns of flooding there in Trinidad. So I know we have a lot of Guyanese that reside in Trinidad. I want you guys to just drop a comment or so, let us know that you're okay and that you're not being affected by the flood in the area. So just let us know. Mark safe for us. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah,
We're always concerned about your well-being.
correct is right. Thanks for joining us, folks. Share the like, smash that emoji button. Partner with us, folks. We're going to have a go at it. Your anniversary month, and we just cannot do these programs without you good folks here. We just can't do it without you guys. So contribute to our program so we can continue to move forward. Pace and power, boots on the ground. We're available via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal. MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union as well. 627-6963. That's the number you want to contact if you need query answered or something like that. 627-6963. That's the number you want to call. Partner with us, folks. Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, you name it, all for your convenience. We don't want to say it in the back of the ocean, right? But all for your convenience to make it easier for you to be able to contribute to our programs. Yep. And we're going to be offering you so much more on our pages and across our platforms. You see Dr. Hines, we're streaming Dr. Hines now, and we're going to be seeing some other folks as the days unfold. That's because of you, good people. Your love, your generosity, and your support. It is felt. It is felt. Folks, I'm pleased to be joined by none other than Member of Parliament, Prince Roy Jordan. I hope you can hear us clear. MP, are you there? Rock and come in. Good afternoon. You hearing me? A very good afternoon to you. Listeners, viewers, can you hear? MP Jordan, we want to make sure that we don't waste any of the conversation. MP, come as close to your microphone and your phone as possible.
All right, I'm close. I'm close.
All right, MP said he's close. Folks, can we hear the member of parliament? Shirley, how about you? Vernella Garnett, David Wood? All right, the guys are saying very low. Let me make sure we have it good. Yeah, they say much better now. Good, good, good. That's how we want it. That's how we want it. All right, some folks are saying no, we can barely hear him. We want to get MP Jordan. No audio, very low.
Let's do the test. Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, listeners.
Let's try another and see.
Yeah, let's try it one other way. We could. And we need to hear him very, very clearly.
MP Jordan, if I bring your let me attempt to do it another way. Might be helpful. I'm gonna try to do it another way.
Guys, just bear with us for a
Yeah,
few.
yeah, yeah.
As we get this sorted out, we need you to be hearing him loud and clear in order for us to actually get the content of this conversation over, because it's extremely important that this message reaches your ear wherever you are.
Check your messages, MP Jordan, and I only want your audio. And we're gonna try to do it another way quickly. But good to have you folks who are joining us. Good to have you folks. Judy Luck, Maureen Joy is here.
I would encourage everyone that's joining us right about now to actually to hit that share if you haven't done so already. Just to hit share, because this is a very, very important conversation that we're going to be going into. There are lots have been said right about now in mainstream media, particularly coming out from the PPP side of everything. Well, probably the only place that's coming out from, if I'm to be correct. But we need to be given a lot of clarity to what actually happened there in Belladrum. So we're going to be hearing, we're going to bring you the information, first-hand information. You know how we do it, guys. So hopefully all of you will be able to benefit from this conversation and to be able to explain very candidly what actually happened.
Yeah. MP Jordan?
Yes, Sherrod. You hearing me now?
I can hear you now.
Loud and clear.
Good afternoon, Jurita.
Good afternoon.
MP, we see these headlines, of course. We understand disintegration operates in the PPP, but one of the headlines read that you're trying to block development in Babis, and another one says you're trying to block the minister. That's what they're saying. We got it from the practical. So,
well, Sherrod, that is the usual ranting of the PPP, and misinformation is very much part of their daily routine of governance and propaganda to the people. If I'm to block the minister or I'm to block development, well, then it means that I'm a very powerful person, although I'm in opposition. And it goes to show clearly that the story is not adding up to what it really is. Let me walk you through and our listeners here today, Sherrod. Minister Sonia Parag visited Region Number 5, El Dorado Village, last week. She went and tried to enter a community development council building. The residents on the ground at that time told her they don't want her to go into the building to have a meeting. They don't want her to go into the building just to talk. They're by the roadside. We can talk. And she disagreed, and the building remained locked, and she eventually left. She had with her the member of parliament for the PPP and the regional chairman. She then returned on Tuesday of this week. And upon her returning, the residents called me to say that they have sent message that they are going to break the building, and enter to do what they want to do as a PPP government. And I said to the residents, but this building has an oversight body, one which was elected by you as a CDC to run and manage your affairs. And so the CDC chairperson said to me, Comrade Jordan, we do not want them to get into this building because from the inception they did it the wrong way. When the president was coming, they broke the building, vandalized, moved out stuff that were in the building. They destroyed filing cabinets. They destroyed cupboards. They broke away the fence, removed the gate, broke down the shed, threw it into nearby pasture, and they left it and went away. I'm saying all of this so that you could understand how this thing started. So when the PPP and the president and all the likes like Big Smith and all of them come to make reports, they must come to the people and tell them the truth. And I must let you know and the listeners know from the outset, residents of El Dorado numbers over in El Dorado, Belgium and Paradise in the thousands, not three. All right. And so the one reporter or person who reported that they're blocking development is a young man who happens to be the beneficiary of uh, the $250 cash grant that they give to Fisher folks, or 150. I can't remember exactly what it was. The other young man is the NDC counselor for the PPP who lives in a nearby community, not the community that the NDC belongs to, the CDC belongs to. And the third gentleman is a man from that village who could be seen in many photographs receiving one bull on behalf of a community that he doesn't live in. And so, Sherrod, that is the genesis. Now, let me help you. The minister came today and she said to me, while I was there in company of the residents who were in support of what the CDC wanted to do, but that is not to allow them to go into the building. She said she wants to go into the building and she wants to have meetings conducted and to open some library. And then the word was also that the counselor for the PPP will be here, and who eventually turned up. And then this PPP operative young man, he turned up too, and they too will occupy this building. So I said to her, the CDC being the governing body of this building, which was not built by government, by the way, it was an old market that was transformed into a community center development complex that was built by assisted by Food for the Poor, self-help from residents, and overseas donors. I said, I have one problem with the way this government operates when it comes to doing anything for residents in their communities. The government totally ignores the structures or the tiers of governance that are supposed to be in place when it comes to development. I said, from the executive, you need to move to the regional democratic councils, then you move to the NDCs, and then you move to the CDCs, which operates under the ministries and the NDCs. And when you do that through the channels, you will then be able to speak to the people who were elected to represent the people in the communities, and they will be able to then in turn tell you what are the needs of the community. Not just coming to have one man who has been high on something for the past 3 years tell you what the community needs, and then another man who simply collect a bull and got excited and doesn't live there come and tell you what a community needs. So you need to do it the right way. I further mentioned to the minister about the vandalism of the building when the president visited. The president visited, I think it was about 3 weeks ago. And when he visited, the morning of his visit, they called about 9:30 Faisal Jafar Ali to say that the president will visit at 10 a.m. Now, that is ignorance. You must have known that the president would have been visiting the community from the day or a few days prior. You must have known that we needed to prepare a place, or you needed to prepare a place rather, for the president's visit, and not come on the morning of the visit, break locks, remove fence and gate, remove a shed that is in a compound, just to pitch a tent for the president to sit under. If we had done it the right way, of course the residents would have welcomed the visit of the president to hear what are their needs. But lo and behold, when the president visited Sherrod and Jurita, the residents that were there were residents from as far as Bath Settlement, Novar, and Dundee, Myconi, not recognizing that it was not to deal with the needs of the people in that community. You had more rice farmers who are Indo-Guyanese who are in that community, which is predominantly African community, fighting about cash crop and rice farmers, assistance, and fighting about drainage and irrigation. So the needs of the people in that community were not met at that meeting. It was not dealt with at that meeting. So here is back to the situation with Sony Perak coming. So after I said those words to her, she spoke to the CDC chairperson. Now, the CDC chairperson was very clear. He said, I will not allow you to go into the building because we need to do an audit. And that audit must take time for us to first understand why they went into the building, what they took from the building, what was destroyed, and all the like. And then we will be able to know when we will open the building to the community, not to you as minister, to the community, because it's a community building. It was built by and for the people of the community. And so she said to the chairman, well, then you're blocking development. So I was shocked when I saw the headline that I was blocking the development. But then I also was shocked when I saw that I blocked the minister. So I don't know how I could have blocked the minister when a door was shut from the inception. We were standing in a yard from the video that you would see, a compound, right, if you want to put it that way, and nobody entered any building. So I don't know where the blockage come from. Now, Sherrod, one would understand that if you come to do development, it means that you might have invited some residents, and the youths would be there and all of that, because the playground is just a street away, and people would come out to hear what you want to do in terms of employment and all the things that you were saying. Not one youth was present to hear from the minister that belongs to the community. Not one senior folk was present to hear, well, if we're gonna get probably increase in pension and the likes, or probably we're gonna get some relief in some. Not one was present to hear. Everyone that was there were from the body of the CDC, and they came to represent the cause of their community development council. Now I must say it clear again. That building presently houses a computer hub. It has internet service. It has an office that manages the piggery. And you might know, Sherrod, if you remember, we were in one time in El Dorado, and we spoke about the piggery that where we can get fresh pork every week. A farm is at the back with eggs and layers and all of that, and there's an office for that, and other vacant places in the building where they do a craft session every year. The people come together, and overseas based Guyanese will help out, and others who are here will train the youngsters and residents. So it is a building and a project that is in full operation. And I must say it clear here, we don't need a PPP office in a community development council building. Go and build a PPP office in your where you want it to be. And we don't need a PPP councillor to be sitting in a community development council building. Let him or her go to the NDC building. And that is very clear. And that is simply what the CDC chairperson and the CDC secretary told the minister. And they left. And then I heard that I blocked development in a community. Now, I want to point out clear, if I block the development, let the minister say to the people of Belladrum, El Dorado, and Paradise, what were the developmental plans that she came with on that day to bring to the community. And I'll stop there for now.
And that's the real question, because I say it all the time that the PPP believe that these headlines are going to sway what reality actually is. And they have not been going to any community that is not aligned with their supporters and actually taking anything real. It is very interesting for me to hear the persons that were actually present there to meet with the minister, and then the PPP is going out with their propaganda mission to say that, oh, well, you wanted to block development altogether. It's absolutely crazy. Anyone that understands the way in which they operate knows the narrative that they're trying to push right about now, but they will not succeed with that. And I'm happy to know that the people there in Belgium actually is saying what they want and what they don't want. And it's important to have that bit of local governance, grassroots leadership. The people know what they want the building to be utilized for and all of those things. And no one should force their way, particularly the PP administration, and decide and determine that they want an office in there for PP representatives and all of those nonsense. Absolutely
Yep,
crazy.
yep. Vintroy, what do you think this is really about? You know, this propaganda, the posturing by the PP, they're trying to get some mileage off of you just trying to take a stand for your community. What do you think this is about?
No, 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 Sherrod, you said it. It is them trying to score some cheap political points, and of course, trying to raise this issue of racism and trying to say to the nation that we are stopping development. No, no, no. Let me show you this, Sheriff. Why is it that when Kemra Jamchitan speaks about the way PPP operates in Afro-Guyanese community, and that they don't do anything for the communities, and that they don't treat us as equal with this one guy, and why don't they call Kemra Jamchitan a racist?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that when Marvin Williams speaks about Region 8, Region 7, and Region 9, the way in which they treat and marginalize our indigenous brothers and sisters who support the APNU AFC coalition, why is it that they don't call Marvin Williams a racist? Because he's speaking about his own. But why is it that when an African member of parliament or coalition supporter speaks out against the injustices, the bullyism, and all the tactics that the PPP tries to play when they come into our communities, when we speak about it, it suddenly becomes a racist issue, and it suddenly becomes one whereby we are against their agenda. But we will not have it. We will not be bullied. And I can speak confidently because I have the support of the residents of Belladrum, El Dorado, and Paradise. And I can walk and talk at any given time in those communities. And so I know their true um, aim behind this is to show, well, look, we're trying to bring an inclusive country, and here is a member of parliament stopping us. We didn't have to go far, no less than the, the, the sitting ambassador to the United States of America here in Guyana said that we don't have an inclusive democracy.
Mm-hmm.
She said that Afro-Guyanese women, that group, they are being marginalized. In less than 48 hours ago, she said that. So Guyanese don't have to go far to understand that the PPP are just trying to score cheap political points by making a big issue. I want to know, well, then, if the minister was blocked, why she didn't call the Guyana police force?
Mm-hmm.
Because the building, if it is theirs, well, go and take it. And I said to the minister, Cheryl, look, you don't have to go into a building in order to bring development into community. I said to her, send your technical officers, let them assess the situation. Now, if you're gonna come to build a street in or two streets in Region 5, you gotta come and walk on all two the streets to see that they're bad to build them. Send technical officers from the RDC engineering department, wherever it might be, or from your ministry. Let them measure the place, examine, and all of that, and let them come up with a plan. We need XYZ for a room, and we need, and so many books, and so we're gonna donate, because that is the big thing. They said it was a library and job creation. Now, after all this chaos with the 10 days work where they give them $40,000, what is the next plan for job creation that Sonia Parak came with? I want her to tell the nation that. So the whole fluff and smoke screen that they're creating
Mhm.
is just to score cheap political points, Sharon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Bluff and bluff.
one of the things, and Vince was absolutely correct. They're trying to paint a narrative, and that's their whole aim, and that's their mission, to paint a particular narrative, and that's why they can't put, put certain labels on different people, like Vince was rightly saying. Didn't know it, Vince, right? That one of the things that Sonia Parag is saying is that resident, our resident requested this resident, and I find it ridiculous that a certain minister is going to come with this claim that one resident requested this when we have thousands of Guyanese requesting intervention from the government every single day, and they're not even batting an eyelid to actually see what the concerns are of those persons, to say, resident requested that visit, and for them to go and check to see if the building could
Yeah.
accommodate ICT hub and those things.
Mhm.
Completely want to sideline the body that is in charge of taking care of that building.
Correct.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Correct. Now look, Jurita, and I'd like to share so that Guyanese can understand. And on a lighter note, if it takes or it would take an entire ministry staff, a minister and staff to come out just to build a library for a resident, well then I don't know what it would take to build schools.
Mm.
The PPP is the most democratic government in this entire Western Hemisphere. They are not prepared to work with the elected officials. You check it. In the regions, they're not prepared, where we want, they're not prepared to work with the regional democratic councils. They are not prepared to truly work with the people who were in all the communities, because if they were prepared, they would have been prepared to work with those who are elected in the councils and the various bodies of representatives that treats with the people's welfare, so as to know what are the true needs of the people. And until and unless they respect the governing bodies that the people elected at the NDC level, at the RDC level, as a CDC, until they do that, they're not truly working to bring development to the people, because you cannot come to my community and tell me what you want to give to me. You have to come to my community and ask me what you want me to do or you to do for my community. And then if you can't, well, then we work out to see what is the area where we can reach a compromise, and then we agree on what can be done for the community. Not you come in and tell us one of your cronies or two of your cronies would like to sit in an office and we want to utilize the building, and that they said they need a library. No, here the sham with the library is simply to install this guy that they have as a PPP operative in El Dorado to sit there, and then he will be the so-called librarian who will be posted there, and the PPP representative in that community. No, it would not work. As long as Vincent Jordan is member of parliament for region number 5, Mahaika Bob is representing the constituencies and the people who elected me to serve them, it will not work in none of our communities. So I want to say to them, if they want to call it blockade of development, well, so let it be. It will be blockade of development in all the communities that they come to bully and send the likes of Sonia Parag, and we will have them meet with the residents whenever they come.
Don't think anybody believes a word the PPP is saying. Don't think so at all.
But that is the way in which they operate. If they cannot have complete and total control of something, they do nothing. And that is why they're going about and they're creating all of the IMCs, gutting all of the democratic process
Right.
of anybody, because they want to make sure that the only way they will do something is if they can put their representatives there to have full control. If you want to do something for Belgium, why not have the people in Belgium, the residents in Belgium, actually have control over the way in which it is done? Why
And
not do that? What is so difficult in doing that?
and why not speak to the NDC,
Exactly.
which the people elected? The NDC is the elected body that represents that entire community of Profit Rising Sun. It is controlled, of course, by a large majority by the APNU AFC coalition And so they would not want to speak to them because they don't want the community to recognize that the NDC will be involved and engaged in their development. And so they want to show as if, and again, in scoring cheap political points, as if they come like Pharaoh by night to rescue the residents of Belgium. Well, no, the people are sensible enough to know that when they needed water in that community, it was the coalition government that took water. When they needed street lights, Jurita, it was the coalition government that took the street lights in that community. When they needed a community center ground, which is properly lit today, which has all the amenities to facilitate floodlight football at any given time of the year, it was the coalition that took it. When they needed proper drainage and irrigation, it was the coalition. For 23 years, the PPP deprived the people of El Dorado, Paradise, and Belgium of development. And they came Tuesday, only to return to that and just try to show the smoke screen. We come to bring development. No, they come to install the PPP operatives so that they can punish and bring more hardship to that community, because PPP, as we know it, does nothing good for any of the communities.
Well, I just wanted to add this in at the moment, right? Because I'm seeing a report in Starbuck News. I'm just going to read a paragraph from it. It says, during an interview with Starbuck News yesterday, Parag said that during the presidential outreach in the community, a resident requested that government look at the community center to determine whether it is feasible to install a library, ICT hub, or host training programs for youths there. She added that the promise was made to have the area checked out to determine a way forward. Before you even weigh in on that, Vince Roy, I will just say, because I didn't like myself, Sharon, and so many of us, we did not appear at the level of the National Assembly, and I had a privilege of serving at the local government level. And I'll tell you something: at no point in time does a sitting minister, government, and any central government body have to go and visit a community center to have such determination made. When there is an elected body, an elected local government body in place, you can simply communicate with and say, hey, check this building out. I think we can add an ICT hub. I think we can add a library or so forth. That is not a function of central government, and by no means, shape, or form should this be used as an excuse as to why they were doing things the way in which they were doing things. There are structures in place to make sure that things are done in a proper way. These things, and we are going to next year, pretty soon, you're going to have another budget in Parliament there. Why aren't these things being budgeted for and all of those things? At the level of local government, they need to allow the local body to function and make sure that the things are done under that structure, not to go in just to put the political representatives in there and to just take pictures. Oh, we're doing something for Belgium. That's what we're seeing there right now.
Yeah, and look, Jurita, you're absolutely correct. And if they had followed, let us say, for example, they'd called the CDC chairperson and say, man, what is it that you do with this building? He would have been in the position to tell them that the AP and UFC installed internet through Minister Kati use at that time. The building has free Wi-Fi. The building has donor computers that came from the United States through the Grenville's family. Presently, the building already has a section where they do craft and cooking and baking and all these things. So what are you trying to? If you do not align yourself with the elected representatives of the people, you will not know what is happening. Probably you can use the resources that you plan to give for something else, because the building is already serving the needs of the community in that way. But people must understand it is because the very resident wants to have a say in what is happening there as a PPP crony. That is why they ask them to use executive power to come and grab this building. And don't think it's the first. They tried it just over a year and a half at Union, right in West Coast, Barbies here, number 30 Village, to take away the CDC and the building there. And the residents objected to them. The residents stopped them. Why don't they broadcast that when Damlal came there? And the people said, no way, you will not get this one. Why didn't they do that? But
It doesn't
now
suit
they
their
have an
narrative.
opportunity.
It doesn't suit their narrative of the
Exactly.
do it.
And you know what? You know what, Jerita? I heard the president in his 8 minute smoke again fluff um rebuttal to probably my statement. I don't know what he was talking about exactly. And he ventured into saying a female cabinet member was stopped short of providing development for community. Now I must remind the president he has no moral right and authority to speak about females because it is the president who first has to deal with the reports or the allegations against his sitting vice president with his former wife, first lady of this country. It is the president who has to deal with the sitting local government minister and the allegations of rape against him and his dildo abuse against a female member of parliament. It is the president who has to deal with the abusive Kwame McCoy and towards Tabitha Sarabu Ali MP in the National Assembly. It is this president who has to deal with his backbencher Berry Ramsaran strip and slap, which is famously known.
Yep,
Again,
yep.
it is this president who has to deal with the likes of O.C. Rogers that came to Bath settlement and abused a young woman. So I dare the president to come challenge me to speak about the rights of females. No, he doesn't have the moral right to speak about representing females, female member of his cabinet. No way. When he can look at those issues, then he can speak about representing females. And what harm was brought to the minister? Let him tell the nation what harm was brought to the minister as a female, since that he's talking about females. He has no right to speak when it comes to females and the representation of and the fear of females. So I must point that out.
Yep, and I would remind, I would join in reminding the nation of the level of misogyny, derogatory statements to women at the level of the National Assembly that comes from the people sitting members of parliament, sitting ministers in government, and absolutely not one word of condemnation coming from
Exactly.
none. He has no right to speak.
You
None
know,
whatsoever.
and I trust that time would not be short on us this afternoon. But the president pointed out, Sherrod is there still,
Yeah, yeah.
that we are blocking development. Now, Sherrod, I am in the
Well,
process
one
of
of Belgium is development.
yeah, but I'm in the process of showing this same president, Irfan Ali, installed albeit, that his government is the government that deprives the residents of the communities that he said we call that the own. It is his government that deprives them. Let me show you a simple situation that is developing that a lot of people might not know. The government is present, and I can show you via documentation from the government which was sent to all the local government, local authority areas immediately after this conversation. There is a project that is called the Community Roads Program 2022. In that program, 135 roads will be built in region number 5, Mahaika Borbis. Let the president understand. If he doesn't know, probably his ministers and his REOs and chairpersons must inform him. In that, out of that 135 roads, Sherrod and Guyanese, 25 roads will be built in the Union Nasigai NDC, which is controlled by the APNU AFC. But you know what? It's just a smokescreen.
Yeah.
Out of the 25 roads that will be built, 23 will be built in one village alone, which is Bushlot Village, West Coast Borbis. So let us talk about race. One will be built in Hope Town Village and one will be built in Trafalgar. Now you tell me what you're doing to the other 16 villages that are a part of this NDC when you're going to build 23 roads alone in Bushlot. You think that is worse? That is terrible, Sherrod? 31 roads will be built in Bath Woodley Park alone out of 135. We already over 50 something roads in two communities, two villages that are controlled by the PPP. Let the president take that to the bank and tell Guyanese about depriving and blocking communities of development. How dare the president come to talk about one Guyana to me in Mahaica Borbis region? I dare him to challenge. I challenge him at any time for a public debate on developments in Mahaica Borbis region, that where he can put one village that is controlled by the PPPC and is dominated by PP supporters, and one village where it is APNU AFC who controls and their supporters live in. I want him to debate me and challenge me at any time, to tell me and to show that they have equal developments across those villages. And I start with Bushlat or Bath settlement, and we will go to Hope Town or this and the same Belladrum village, and I will show him that from 2022 to now, he has done little or nothing in those communities. So how dare he come to speak to us about one Guyana? It is just a slogan with no policy of a clear direction for Guyanese benefiting from his One Guyana slogan. It is a slogan that he chose to put to destroy an entire ministry of social cohesion that we created under the David Granger-led administration. And how dare the bullies of the PPP come to tell us about racism when they are the people that peddle it the most, when they can come to Region 5 to distribute cash grants and come to Region 5 to give rice farmers and fisher folks grants, and they only go to places like Bath Settlement and Bushlot. How dare the PPP to talk to us about racism? They have no moral rights, none whatsoever. And I can continue to speak about it. So I put the challenge out. Let him know that I'm prepared to challenge him. Bring any village in region number 5. And I work here and I know this region. So let him show me where he has done developmental work in any black community against that which was done in an Indo-Guyanese community. And then we will be able to talk about development and racism.
Yeah. As you speak there, Vince Roy, one of the things that also we are looking at in the Guyana Chronicle today is a headline that reads, "Game over for racism as political weapon."
Right.
That's been attributed to President Ali. That's his comment.
Yeah.
Some good on paper.
Some good on paper,
on
right?
paper. The
reality is vastly different.
And what they're doing, and if Guyanese could only understand, they're speaking about this one Guyana. They put up a slogan. They wear caps and T-shirts. They go into the African communities. They disrespect the governing bodies that were elected at the local level. They disrespect the residents by saying to them, "I come to give you this," and not listening to them to tell them what they really want. And then they take photo ops and pictures to show that I visited Moko, I visited Belladrum, I visited Agricola, I visited the Millers wards in Linden. And then they say to the international committee that we are doing work throughout Guyana, but it is hogwash, Sheridan Jurita. Guyanese knows that when these people go to a black community, let us take, for example, they came to Belladrum 3 weeks ago. You know what the president did? The agriculture minister promised them one bull. He went to the neighboring village, which is just 2 minutes walk away, which is Fowles. He gave them a couple $1 million to do works. The residents of the same Belladrum that they so claim to love overnight now, the same village asked them to clear the road, the drains across in the road at Prophet, Belladrum, Paradise El Dorado, and Fowles. You know what they did? In that entire list that I called, Fowles is the PPP strong base. The regional chairman for Region 5, it is alleged, sent the excavator to clean. Oh yes, he worked upon the instructions of the president. But when the excavator cleaned only Fowles Public Road, and I can take you right now, if anybody wants to challenge me, go right now, because I move around my region. If they go right now to Fowles, they will see the drains are clean, the weeds are gone, and Prophet, the neighboring village, El Dorado, the neighboring village, they are still left in the very same state. You know what the regional chairman said to the people? That they don't have enough money. When they have enough money, they will return to clean theirs. Now that is the fluff, the bluff, and the hypocrisy of this one Guyana nonsense that I can't tolerate from the PPP government. So don't come preach to our people.
Yeah.
Our people are wiser.
Hypocrites.
That local government elections is hinted, and you want to be seen in our communities, and you want to field candidates from there, but it wouldn't work in Region 5. I'm prepared to let them know it would not work in my Bobby's region.
Yeah, yeah. Hypocrites, hypocrites.
Lots of
That's it,
clarity
folks.
given there, and I want to thank Vince Roy for coming through with all of that information, guys. I told you you would have wanted to share this podcast, the amount of information that you would have received. It's absolutely important that it gets to the ears of everyone, because this is the administration that we're
Yeah,
talking about, and no
yeah.
amount of photos with indigenous people or African people is going to change the fact that they're being discriminated in this country as we speak.
Correct, correct. Vintroy, as we go, what are your closing thoughts to the people of this country?
Well, Sharon, I would want to close by saying, Guyanese, you know the truth. The truth is that the PPP is just bent on scoring cheap political points by saying that
Vintroy, hold for it. We've lost your audio a little bit there. Whatever you did, undo it.
Well, I did not.
All right.
You get me clear still?
No, we've lost. We're hearing you, but not as clear as we were just a couple of seconds ago.
Are you getting it clear now?
No.
Well, I did nothing, Sharon.
Go right ahead.
Go right ahead. We're hearing you, but it's just a
Yeah.
little bit muffled.
Yeah, right ahead. We're gonna suffer to be fair.
I want to say to Guyanese in conclusion that this APNU AFC opposition presently, and personally as a member of parliament working for the Mahika Wabis region, I would not stop development at any time in none of our communities. But once the government wants to come to do any developmental work, they must do it the right way. Follow the chains, follow the respect the local authorities, respect the elected officials, and go right ahead and do your work. Also respect what the people need and just don't come and push things down their throat. I want to say also that the coalition government can boast of doing works throughout the entire Guyana. That the coalition government, even in region number 5, we can boast of being an inclusive and equal government, because at the time when we were operating as a government, we were the first to put lights at Cotton Tree, which is a PPP stronghold community center ground, and they welcomed it, because you know what, we consulted with them on their needs. We were the first to go and rehabilitate the washrooms and the stands and the defense at the Bath community center ground. And I'm just saying this so that people understand what they're coming with now is things that they're just trying to push down their throats to disguise what they're truly doing, which is not providing any development for the communities, but just moving around on a charade and trying to impress the citizens and the international community. But the reality is that they have not done anything significant for true development in our communities that we represent and that elected us. And that is simply because it is either that they're Afro-Guyanese, or it is either that they're Indo-Guyanese and indigenous Guyanese who support the coalition government. And so I want to say to Guyanese, beware of the tactics and the ploys, and understand that the coalition understands and cares about their development.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Member of Parliament Vince Roy Jordan, out of Berbice, Region 5 in particular. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me, Sharon.
Have a good day, Vince Roy, for coming.
All right, folks. That's going to do it for us at this end for our podcast today. Below the belt, we did say credible, valid information. Credible, valid information.
Yes, guys, and as you head off there, I'm going to be heading back over to the live stream that's coming out from the COI Day 5. Sis Narayan Singh back in the box after lunch. I want to hear what else he has to say.
The presidential car.
I want to hear if he got pulled in for fitness during the lunch break, and if his tone and his manner of answers actually changed.
Yeah, being too helpful. Scale it back. Say, scale it back.
Follow.
Yeah. He a little too
I think
excited.
them boys sorry to send you in.
Yeah, send in sugar down. That's the problem. Package the sugar down.
Or to say, or
Folks,
to
we're gonna be
say.
back this evening at 8, and we're gonna bring you everything in between. Back at 8 and everything in between, folks. Have a great afternoon. Have a great afternoon.
Bye, guys.
That's gonna do it for us. Good to see you guys. Good to see Michaela and Shalon and Simone and all the other folks who have joined us. Have a fantastic rest of the afternoon. We're gonna see you guys right back here at 8 this evening. Stay safe, folks. Stay safe.